Hello, it's Lucy from West 2. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done a kiln unload. I've got one for you today. It's actually a double kiln unload. I haven't been able to get around to doing any filming because my partner's not been very well for the last couple of weeks. Unfortunately, he's been in a long stint in hospital, around 6 months, so he's come home and he's still recovering and needs a bit of support, so I've just not had as much time as I would usually like to have up here. So it's been a quiet couple of weeks, but we did push a couple of kiln loads through. So Tonka is milling about somewhere, so you might see her, you might not. Yeah, so just first of all, before I get started, just wanted to say hello to everybody. I've had some really amazing comments, really lovely comments. Had a little chat with Jeanette. She's just an absolute superstar, so just wanted to say hi to Jeanette. Linda from Lindy Lou, Sarah Hallam, Ceramics, Nat and Trace, just all you guys. There's just so many to mention. So yeah, just wanted to say the comments that have been coming in have been just really lovely. So hello to everybody. So I'll get started. This one is not very exciting, I'm afraid. It's just a test plate. Somebody who was up here glazing said to me, I really like just a Dulux colour chart, and I said, well, I can't. Yeah, you see the size of that issue there. Those glaze bottles are 4 deep. There's no way I could do any kind of glaze colour chart, but I did want to test. So I've just recently started using stroke and coats for some pieces, and I just wanted to do a really basic test plate with my stroke and coats on, just so I could get a bit of a reference of what they look like at cone 6, because they do change a tiny bit, or cone 5, 6. I won't read all these out to you because it'd be very dull, because they are just straight 3 coats of just all the standards. You've got like tuxedo and cottontail and orange appeal and sunkiss and all the kind of usuals. So there's nothing too exciting on there to tell you about, but it's quite handy, and it's just been marked up on the back with the Paisler underglaze pen, which I've just picked up, and actually I have to be honest, it's really good, really good, really clear. Because I just don't, underglaze pencils for me are just always a bit, they just never come out quite steady, do they? So yeah, so the underglaze pen, if you're looking for one just for writing on the back of things like that, the underglaze pen is on Amazon, and it's not too expensive, and it's just really good. So there was that. Butter dish. So this one is 4 coats of Amaco Fog, and this is on the Sibelco spotted throwing clay, and the fog on this clay is lovely. It goes almost like grey. Yeah, so I really like it on this clay. And then on the lid is blue rutile. So, and there's a bit of an overlap in the middle, but it's just blue rutile up here, just fog down here, and then an overlap in the middle. And then we've got blue rutile on the inside. So that's nice. And like I say, like I said before, they fire together, so they always fit really well. So like that. What else did we have? Like I said last time, it was this is a lot of kind of test pieces going through at the minute. Yeah, so there's nothing kind of special or massive coming out at the minute, because I'm just in the midst of a new making cycle. So I have, random fact, I have ADHD, so it's I tend to do a massive making cycle, and then I glaze all the things that really excite me, and then I'm left with just the bits and pieces that I have to get through. So pretty much that's where we are at the minute, is the bits and pieces. So I've just got to get through those, and I'm just going to use them for glaze testers, really. So this one was a little mug, very small mug, and I threw this just at a wheel throwing demo. Got 2 of these that I did. So we've got Mako Black Ongobe on the bottom, 3 coats of, and then this is that Autumn Purple, Spectrum Autumn Purple, so it's just 2 coats, and that's just got a little overlap down here. And then the inside is one I picked up recently, which is Spectrum Reactive Red, which is nice. And then I put a little band of pearl white just on the rim, on the inside and the outside, but try and cover up my face. Yeah, the reaction between the reactive red and the autumn purple and pearl white is lovely. It is nice. So that's a nice test. The weather is not playing ball with me today. It's really, really bright outside. So I've got another one. So again, Black Ongobe. I'm going to have to tidy that up a little bit. And then on the inside and on the outside down to here was Mako Norse Blue. And I don't use Norse Blue very much. I just find it a bit flat. It's nice in combinations, but on its own I just find it a bit flat. And then on top, just with a little bit of a stagger back, was Mako Desert Dusk. And I have never used Desert Dusk before. And I thought there weren't loads of crystals in it, but I don't know. It's quite nice. But it was just a little sample pot of Desert Dusk, because I've said it before, I'm not convinced by the matte glazes, and I think Desert Dusk is very much a matte glaze, so I would only use it in combos with something else. So yeah, I'll keep playing around with it and see what we come up with, and whether it's worth adding a big pot to the ever-growing mountain of glaze that lives in my studio. This one is a cauldron mug, and it's got a little Hufflepuff badge on it. So I do some of these Harry Potter house mugs on the cauldron mugs, and it just says, I'm going to try not to drop everything that's in it, and it just has Black Ongobe on the bottom. Don't ask me why I didn't ongobe the feet. I have no idea. I was just having a bit of a day of it. And then it's got manganese, Mako manganese wash on the rim, and a little bit on the badge, just wiped back. And then it's just straight 4 coats of Amica Marigold. But I don't know. I said to my other half when this came out, that yellow to me, I love Marigold, but it looks a little bit more Winnie the Pooh yellow rather than Hufflepuff yellow, and I'm not sure. I think the manganese wash on the rim needs to be scaled back a little bit. So I might, next time I do these, I might just try and mix the Marigold 50-50 with mixing clear and see whether that, just because I find Marigold's quite opaque for a Celadon. It's not completely opaque, but it tends to cover a bit of the texture. So I'm just going to try and thin it down a little bit and see where we get to. Test that out. But yeah, so I think I need a little bit less manganese. I mean, it's a cool effect, but just needs a little bit less, I think. Which is fine. Inside, excuse the noise. So when I send out orders, I always include a little magnet with a business card as a thank you, and they're just little kiln thinners. Don't glaze the back, and then I just stick a little ceramic disc magnet on the back of them. So I just do them in various colours. So this is fog, poppy fields, did some blue rutile ones as well, but blue rutile tends to cover up texture quite a lot, and I just put a little mini version of my logo stamped into them, and then they go in a little envelope along with a business card, and people do like them. They do comment a lot on the fact that it's nice to get a little something that they're not expecting in an Etsy parcel. So if you don't do that, they're really easy to make out of scraps of clay. They're really fast, really easy to fill the kiln with. So they are, I would say, if you're not doing them, it's definitely worth doing them out of your scraps. Another little slip cast church, again just a tester for a new glaze, and this was 3 coats of Mako oyster. So it's satin matte rather than matte. I quite like it. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with it, but I quite like it. It would be nice in combination with some other stuff, I think. Just got to have a bit of a sift through and think and a research and see what I fancy doing with it. But yeah, so I quite like it for a brown. I'm not usually a brown girl, but yeah, it's quite nice. I retested from the decal opening. There was a pair of tumblers in there with seahorses in, and I could not remember what the pink was on the tumblers. And lots of people, I thought it was either kimchi or boogie pink. Lots of people had a stab at it, but I think it was, I want to say it was Debbie who suggested soft red, and I think she might be right. I think I've put a little bit less soft red on this than I had on the Seahorse tumblers, but I do think that's the one. Yeah, so it is very pretty, so I'm probably gonna play around with that combination a bit more, because it's not quite as pink as it's not as pink as the other one was, so I don't know whether, but I might try the boogie pink as well, just to be and compare the two side by side. It's still very, very pretty though. So that one is 2 coats of honey flux, 1 coat of river birch, bands of slightly overlapping, 2 coats of spectrum aqua, and 2 coats of spectrum soft red. This one, so I've got 2 of these. To do these little berry bowls with a saucer, and they are very, very small. So just a 500 gram ball of clay ball, and this is, I really, really like this glaze. I've been doing this glaze for quite a while and I do love it. So this is, first I put on, so the base, the plate is just Celadon Bloom, just 3 coats of Celadon Bloom. Whenever I'm doing like planters or bowls like this with a saucer, I tend to just keep this as the last glaze that's on here. And this one is, let's see if I can get it, because it is absolutely stunning, this combination. So the first thing is 3 coats of Mako's Pink Opal down to here. Bit of a wavy line. It never moves that much, which is good for stuff like this where you've got all the holes, because it tends not to fill them in. And then on top of that is just 3 coats of Celadon Bloom. So it's a really, really easy glaze combo to do, really quick one to do, but the results are just magic, absolute magic. I just love the way it turns the white crystals pink. She's just stunning. So there's that one, and then plate on this one is just Sunrise. So 2 coats of Spectrum Sunrise, and I always do them a bit patchy. So I do my first coat solid, and then I do my second coat quite patchy. Now I'm quite a thick glazer, quite a heavy glazer, so I can get away with, in places I can get away with 1 coat of Spectrum. So on the bottom, this is the Sunrise, so 2 coats of Sunrise. This is 2 coats of soft red, and then I left a gap in between the 2, and then that is Amaryllis, 3 coats of Amaryllis in the middle. So you can see that little gap there where it's not really moved, and that's just Amaryllis. But that's lovely, that's a really nice combo. I really like that. And then inside is exactly the same. Ooh. Tonka's having a mental moment. Hi, you okay? You okay? Yeah? Just come racing in from the garden like a loopy loon. So serving bowl, small serving bowl. So I wanted to do a little bit of, I've got some new kind of underglazy things to play with. So again, this is the Paisler, the black underglaze Paisler pen, and then the green is the Amico semi-moist, like the watercolor pans, and that's hunter green in the leaves, and then just covered with 2 coats of Mako zinc free clear. Finally got rid of that pesky Clayscapes dipping glaze. And then on the outside, up to here, Amico honeydew from the PCF line, and then blue root tile, so 3 and 3 with an overlap. And I don't use blue root tile as much as I should. So who calls it rutile and who calls it rutile? Because I've had this conversation with several people, and apparently in America you say rutile, which is what I say, but you should say rutile in the UK. Who knows? Discuss, comment, argue. But yeah, so really happy with that. So yeah, need to make better use of that glaze because it is lovely. I love the variation you get in blue root tile. Really nice. And I'm actually quite, for somebody who does not draw freehand, I'm actually quite happy with that. Really simple pattern. But yeah, very happy with that. Might actually try it again, but because I just feel like it's a little bit, the black outline's a bit too thick, so I might swap that to Mako designer liner in black and just see how that comes out. But yeah, actually quite happy with that. Another bowl, same size. So this is 2 coats of Spectrum Reactive Red and 2 coats of Fuzzy Peach, Spectrum Fuzzy Peach. I love Fuzzy Peach. I have a real thing for Fuzzy Peach. I love the colour of it. It's just, and the variation in it when you do those splotchy coats is lovely. Inside, so we all know frozen pond technique. Now, obviously frozen pond technique works because it usually has a stable base glaze like obsidian. So obviously this was never going to be frozen pond, that's fine. But I did it exactly the same way, just wanted to see how it would run with a fluxy glaze underneath it. And I'm actually very happy. So it is, the base glaze is reactive red, and then two times running hot chowder dots, and then fuzzy peach, 2 coats of fuzzy peach on top. I'm actually really pleased with that, really happy with that. It's not too in your face, but there is a lot of variation in it. So yeah, so I really like that, happy with that. So this was a student throw. So this is the same lady from the last kiln opening, and she did Amico Weeping Plum ×4 inside, and then the outside is with scraped off drips on the inside is Arctic Blue, Amico Arctic Blue, and that would have been 3 coats of. And I'm very confused because every time I've ever used, is it Arctic Blue? Am I getting confused between Arctic Blue and Bluestone? I am. Bluestone's matte, isn't it? Bluestone is matte, and then Arctic Blue is glossy. That's why I'm getting confused. But yeah, it's really pretty. Really pretty. I love the drips on the inside. And she only did one by accident, and then was like, oh no, and I said, just do the whole lot. Just do it all over. And I'm so glad she did, because that is lovely. Especially the contrast with that pink is really nice, and it's really well thrown. It's a really nice kind of small cappuccino-y mug. So a little bit small for a cappuccino mug, but like a smidge too small. But really nice, really nice. Good flat white size. It's flat white. I only drink black coffee, I only drink espresso. Yeah, so probably a bit big for a flat white, but good size for a cappuccino. So this one, just one of my little random bowls, again, my glaze tester bowls. And I do like to do some testers on things like bowls, just so you get a kind of a proper, I feel like on a test tile, you can't catch chasing leaf. You can't properly see it, so I feel like sometimes you just need to get something on a bowl or a mug. So first glaze on this is Amico Rose Mist, 3 coats of, so that's this one down here and in the middle, covering the whole thing, top to bottom, inside and out. And then I'm sure you can guess, on top of that we've got Amarillis, Mako Amarillis, and that's all this is. So nice easy combo, very pretty. Yeah, so I am liking that. I am liking that. Yeah, so definitely got potential, that one. Happy with that. We are getting there, I promise. So planter with saucer. So middle of is, so I know I said I always do these in one glaze, but this one I don't know, I just felt like a bit of extra pizzazz was necessary. Spectrum Sunrise, and it's remarkable the difference, how much pinker this goes. So that's Sunrise on white clay, and that is Sunrise on the Spelco spotted throwing, and it's so much pinker. It just looks really nice on this clay. And then on the rim, with a little bit of an overlap, is just Poppy Fields. Really enjoying Poppy Fields. Very happy with that. Admittedly, plate could have done with being a bit smaller, but you know, that's fine. So this one was all over the inside, and the base is the Sunrise, and then on the top So the next thing I did was on the top, I put the poppy fields, and I left a gap in the middle, and then soft red in the middle. And soft red does go quite orange on this clay body, and then when it hits something else, it turns white. So yeah, very happy with that. Like that. Little bit of grinding to do. It did go over just a tiny bit, so I've just got a little bit of cleanup to do. Not a lot. It's fine. And then last one. This one's back. So I did chuck quite a lot at it. So outside I put 2 coats of Seahorse Flow on the outside. I didn't want to put too much on it because I didn't want to change, or was it 1 coat? I think I only put 1 coat on the outside because I didn't want to change that Louisiana blue Bayou colour too much. And then inside, yeah, I decided to just go for it. So it was Seahorse Flow times 2, quite low, so down to here. And then I put 1 coat of River Birch because I wanted this kind of running speck in it. So that was 1 coat on top of the 2 coats of Seahorse Flow. And then I did just a band around here, all the way around, of soft aqua, and I think I did 2 coats of soft aqua, so it had quite a lot more glaze put on it. However, no pinholes, so yeah, very happy. Everything is healed up. If in doubt, chuck some Amaco flux at it. Honey flux will save the day every time. Yeah, so I'm okay with it. I don't love it as much as I did before, but I'm certainly significantly happier with it now than I was with the pinholes. So I am really glad I've refired it. So happy days. Happy days. So that's about it. Just had to load, just chucked a bisque load in now. So that is currently cooking away. Got a couple more bits, not loads, but a couple more bits to glaze. So there'll probably be a glaze firing going on this week. Other half's feeling a little bit better, so he's needing a little bit less support now, which is good. So I've got a little bit more time. Yeah, so there's probably going to be a glaze firing this week, and then after that will be some stuff that I'm a bit more excited about coming out. Things like I've got some of the peony candle holders in there, sippy straw cups and things like that, and a nice big freeform bowl, hand-built bowl in there, which I have a plan for glazing already. So yeah, so we'll see. Other than that, I hope you're all really well. Yeah, and just have an amazing day, and thank you to everybody who watches, subscribes, comments, likes. It's all really appreciated. Yeah, so it's just really lovely to see everybody sharing. So I won't do the wrong, and I will see you next time. All right, bye guys.